Hey guys, this is Corey from Rigwell. Today I'm going to show you how to put together the slider console table. Let's get into it. So the first step, grab yourself some tools. You're going to need a 3/8 socket. You can use a wrench too if you don't have a drill or an impact gun. 3/32 Allen and a Phillips head screwdriver. So pretty basic for the tools. And what comes in the kit, you're going to have the main box, you'll have your wood top, and then you'll have 4 of these slides, some felt, you'll have wood screws, some rubber bumpers, and then the main bolts and nuts that hold this thing together. So to start with, you're going to take one of each style slide. Now this one has holes on the bottom, so this guy is going to connect to the inside there, and then this one has holes on the top, and these are going to go into our wood panel. But just so you can see, these two guys, this is what creates the slide mechanism. So this goes back and forth and the wood top's gonna sit up here. So that's how the slides work. So let's start with these guys. And we're just gonna simply take our bolts, put one through. We're actually gonna go through the outside of the box and then onto the slide. So your nut will sit on the inside of the box. So we'll just thread these 4 in. So now your slide should be sitting like this. You got the bolt heads on the outside and the nuts on the inside. And we can go ahead and tighten those down with our socket and our Allen key. Okay, now that we have one side tight, we're going to flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now that our slides are in the box, we can take the rest of the bolts here, and there's 4 more holes, 2 on each end. So you have 2 holes here and 2 holes in the back. And these guys we're just going to put in hand tight for now, because these actually affect how the top of the box slides, and we'll get to that a little later. But so you can just thread these on by hand for now. Okay, now that those are in, let's move to the felt. This is pretty simple. We're just gonna pull off the felt off the backing, which can be the trickiest part. And now all I'm gonna do here is line up my top edge with the top edge of this track and center it on there. And once you have it lined up with that top edge, you can just simply roll it down over the side, making sure it's nice and flat along that slide. And just press it in. So we'll do the same thing for the other side. So there you go, there's a close-up of the felt. We can set our box aside for now and we can start to work on the wood. So one side, the top, is not gonna have any holes. Flip it over, you're gonna have a whole bunch of holes on the bottom, pre-drilled. So we're gonna take our slides here, and these guys have holes that are slotted. So those holes will line up with the holes already drilled in the board. And since they're slotted, they can move back and forth this way. I recommend putting it towards the outside of the slot to start, which will give you the most play when it slides on the box. And then if you want it tighter, you can always loosen those screws and move it outward a little bit, and that'll put more pressure in between the 2 slides. So let's go ahead and put the screws in now. Just our Phillips head screws here. There's 5 for each slide. And as a note, I wouldn't recommend going crazy with the drill on these wood screws. You don't want too much torque in there and kind of strip out the wood. So I like to put these in by hand. It takes a little longer, but I know I'm not going to strip out any of my holes. Okay, so that's what your slide should look like. The little V part should be pointing inward on both of them. And then, I don't know, you probably can't see, but the slots, I have the slides kind of pushed in more. And like I said before, that'll give it the most, least resistance on the slides. If you want it tighter, loosen those screws back up and push this slide outward, and that'll make it tighter. So we have one more step to do on the wood here. There's 2 of these rubber bumpers. We're only gonna put one on for now, and then we'll put the other on later. So you just stick your Phillips head screw right through the bumper, and then there's 2 more holes. Doesn't matter which one you pick, and just screw down that rubber bumper. We're now ready to put our wood top onto our box. So it's as simple as taking the side that has the rubber bumper and putting it to the rear, and then lining up your 2 slides, just like that, and it'll just slide on. So now we can slide this all the way out, and you can feel there's a stop at the end, and that's the rubber bumper. So we need to put the other one on. You just flip this box over, take our other rubber bumper here with our screw, and screw it on. Now that our top's on and it's sliding really nice, we need to go ahead and tighten the rest of the 4 perimeter bolts that we put in a previous step, 2 on each side here. So these guys, what they'll do is actually, there's 2 pieces of metal, there's an air gap in between them. If you really tighten it, it's gonna pull the 2 slides closer together, and that's gonna put a lot more friction on the table. If you want it to slide nice and easy, you don't have to use these bolts, but what I recommend is just switching to a ratchet and just tightening them down just enough where they're not flopping around and making noise. And then as time goes on, if you want to tighten them up later for whatever reason, you can always go back and do that. So let's just go and hand tighten these guys just so they're not flopping around on us. And that's really all there is to building the center console table. So the last thing I want to mention before we leave here is there is some pre-drilled holes down here, and you should have 6 extra bolts and nuts. So this will fit a standard Lagoon mount. So you can just simply bolt it up here. There's kind of 2 positions, this way and this way. So up to you there. If you're not using a Lagoon table, feel free to drill a hole wherever you want in this aluminum base. It's nice and strong, so you're not gonna have any problems there. Other than that, thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.